think to an extent we've all heard of Yelp, the online directory where people can rate their experience with a business. Basically like a Letterboxd or IMDb for stores, restaurants, and many other types of businesses. I thought it could be fun to dive into a wild rabbit hole of horribly funny Yelp reviews of family-owned restaurants just to see how much control these Yelpers think they have. Let's do it. But before we dive in, I want you to remember this one thing. These people went to whatever business they reviewed and they paid for the product or service that was being sold. Now that we have that quick refresher, let's see how bad these get. Our first review is of Greek Bistro in Los Angeles, and it's a slam dunk right away. Quick note, I'm definitely gonna butcher the names of the dishes, so I apologize in advance. The waiter awkwardly asked us to write a Yelp review, so here it is. The restaurant is beautiful and high-end looking. The ambience is quite nice. We had high expectations for the food. The service is quick and responsive, but the food is just not good. It doesn't match the ambience or the expensive price tag. The hummus tasted strange. The tzatziki was just a plain yogurt laminate. The baba ganoush was fine. My chicken skewers were under-seasoned and a little dry. Veggies had no seasoning. My partner's salmon dish was too salty according to him, and he only ate it because he was starving. The spanakopita tasted like plain spinach inside. Where's the cheese? I think even Zanku is better than this place. I'm sorry, we were disappointed because we spent a lot here. I will say my cocktail was pretty good, but it was very sweet. I wonder if the waiter actually asked them to write a Yelp review or if he just casually mentioned it in conversation. Here's your card. Thanks for dining with us. If you want to leave a review on Yelp, feel free, but I hope you guys have a great day. I'm a Yelper, and actually this was not a good experience. Well, have a good day. It's clear that she didn't like the food, but this restaurant also has 5 stars with over 1,000 reviews. So maybe she just doesn't like Greek food? I don't know. Also, this lady is ridiculous. She goes on to say that her drink was good, but still also has a criticism for it. She refuses to let this restaurant succeed in any category. Other 1-star reviews for this restaurant just get worse. This next review is honestly kind of sad. Actually, this next review is so bad that I'm only going to be able to read about half of it. I rolled up thinking this place was going to be a vibe. The reviews made it sound like a 5-star foodgasm. The energy, pure funeral. The servers looked like they just watched the honestly blink twice if you need help. I swear this place is holding them hostage. We dropped $100 on what I can only describe as a sad little offering, 5 crusty chicken nuggets, and a bottle of sparkling water that tasted like battery acid. I can't read the rest of that. The rest of the review details self-harm instead of eating at that restaurant again. That's really unnecessary and extremely inconsiderate. Using something that people struggle with daily to get likes on your Yelp review is extremely messed up. Like, how on earth is the business owner supposed to react to this kind of review? This lady came into the restaurant, ate the food, paid, and then compared it to self-harm in her review and somehow thinks she can control the success of this restaurant? What the hell? I decided that I can't only show the bad reviews of the restaurants, so I'm going to share some notes that I took from the 1,020 ratings that give this restaurant its 5 stars. Based on those reviews, the service, the atmosphere, and the food at Greek Bistro are all amazing. I think I trust the 1,000 positive reviews as opposed to the 200 negative reviews. With that, let's see what other bad reviews we can find. This next one is a 1-star review for XiaosKitchen, a Mediterranean restaurant. I went in to eat, but first I had to wash my hands. The tall guy who greeted me said bathroom was for the customer. I don't know about you, but if someone is going to prejudge me, is going to lose my business, and that's exactly what happened. I definitely not go back. You mean you weren't gonna wash your hands? After reading this, I'm not sure if this is what he actually meant, but the grammar is so bad that I just honestly have no idea what he was trying to say. The next restaurant we're going to take a look at is Lariat Lodge Brewing Company, where I have been a couple of times. I'll start off with the major positives. We love the food and service. We usually enjoy lunch there once or twice a month, but today we walked in and quickly had to walk out due to the music being too loud. The hostess tried to see if the manager was available to turn it down, but we must not have been around. He also offered us a table, but the improvement was marginal. So people did try, but we still had to walk out. This is not so much a complaint as it is a constructive criticism because we will be back again. Thank you, B. I guess what I'm not understanding is the 1-star here. You enjoy lunch here. The music is too loud, and you also gave it 1 star? Right.
Dude, why are they blasting Drake?
Shoot, I can't be caught listening to Drake.
Let's get out of here.
I understand if you're older and maybe struggle with loud noises, but what I don't get is the 1 star if this is a place that you really like. On to the next.
Something I want to point out in this point in the video is just how atrocious most of these Yelpers' grammar is. If I sound like a 4th grader trying to read it, it's because their grammar is so bad.
Food was standard for a bar. It was obvious that the manager and his staff were having some kind of robust conversation. No one was paying attention to us during their, I guess, staff meeting. Bartender did come over and asked us, "Are you surviving?" I replied, "Did you survive your meeting?" Ooh, burn. He got the bartender shaking in his boots right there. Service absolutely sucked, and one gal also took her shoe off and dumped whatever was in it behind the bar. It's all about training, and this place lacks it. Doubt this place will thrive long. Here's a prime example of a Yelp reviewer preying on the downfall of a business and believing that their review holds any power in how successful the business is. This review was published in 2023, and guess what? The restaurant still stands in 2025. Although the shoe thing, if that did happen, is really weird. Throughout my search thus far, I have yet to find an absolutely diabolical review. The guy who almost didn't wash his hands is wild, but I'm sure we can find much worse. After some searching, I have now found a diabolical review. And this one is paired with a response from the owner to make it even better. This man gave this restaurant a 1-star review because he felt as if his status as a local gave him better favor in the eyes of the restaurant staff in the place of business. I have loved this place and have met so many great locals since I moved here a bit over a year ago, but felt completely let down after being bullied by belligerent people and feeling no support to kick them out. I felt let down, and bartender had a poor judgment in looking out for me as a regular. But if you believe that man was actually bullied, you are wrong. Please don't throw your bird at people anymore. The staff is not responsible for your fights. I found the video of you throwing the bird. This person threw a bird at people and then asked the owner to kick those people out when they didn't think it was funny. The nerve of this person. What? Yet again, another example of Yelp enabling people to believe that they control the success and failure of businesses.
I've pointed out before how bad the grammar is of these Yelp reviewers, so now we're going to take an in-depth look at just how bad it is. Welcome to the Grammar Police. I'm Officer AJ, and it's time to take these grammasaurs to jail. Our first offender is the 1-star review about washing hands. He uses phrases like, "I went in to eat but first had to wash my hands. The tall guy who greeted me said bathroom was for the customer. If somebody is going to prejudge me is going to lose my business, and I definitely not go back. My man, please learn how to use basic sentence structure and commas. I have no idea what you're trying to say. I am confused." Next is our friend who didn't like the music. Well, it's time to face it. The hostess tried to see if the manager was available to turn it down some, but we must not have been around. But you were around because you heard the music. At the end, our friend says, "Thank you, B," clearly meaning bye. It would do him some good to learn how to proofread his reviews. With proper proofreading and also the reading of a children's book, we can have these professional Yelpers back in the game. That'll be all with the Grammar Police. Officer AJ, signing off.
I believe that people who dedicate themselves to reviewing on Yelp, good or bad, are not truly embracing these experiences or goods or services. They're playing a role in consumer culture, which makes everything about a rating. I would argue that this derails the central idea of experiencing a restaurant, a service, or a product as it is, with all its imperfections and unpredictability. When every bite or interaction is being mentally translated into a star rating or a clever comment, the experience becomes performative. You're no longer just enjoying dinner with friends. You're mentally drafting a paragraph about the server's tone or the temperature of the water. I believe I've experienced the same thing on Letterboxd. Instead of enjoying the movie, I immediately go to rate it, and that sort of tanks the experience. It's a detached observation which turns people into critics rather than participants. This isn't to say that reviews don't have value. To an extent, they absolutely do. But when every interaction is filtered through the lens of judgment, we mitigate the chance that basic human joy and excitement is even there. Instead of delivering your TED Talk, why don't you stay present in the moment and savor that enjoyment? We get it. You didn't like the soup. You don't need to write a full-blown manifesto about betrayal. We're having sandwiches here, not spiritual awakenings. At the end of the day, Yelp is an enormous platform with endless opportunity. That means the opportunity of at least a part 2 somewhere down the line. So if you guys want to see that, be sure to let me know. Thanks for making it this far. I'll see you guys in the next one. None of these Yelpers were actually helpers.